Hey y'all, thanks for checking out Euclid Mining. So today I'm going to be going over my profitability for the past 10 months with my Helium Miner, and was it worth it? Did it really make anything? Did I get any great rewards from it? Did I break even yet? Where I'm at, let's hop over. I'm going to show you what I got going on. So this is the Helium map, and I'm in North Carolina. So we'll just zoom in a little bit and we can start to see my little dot up here in the world. This is Charlotte over here. So Charlotte is a pretty populated area. But this is me right here. So little quick backstory is that I bought this miner 10 months ago. Well, longer than 10 months ago. I got it 10 months ago, but I ordered it a little over 6 months prior to that. Now, if I had gotten this miner before everybody and their mother got it, I probably would have done better, but I didn't. Then I got stuck on that ridiculous wait list, and it took every bit of a little bit over 6 months to get it. When I finally got it, I hooked it up, and then I ran into some other problems. I had the little stock antenna, really didn't do a whole lot, had to get a better antenna, got a better antenna, and I started witnessing people, so that was really cool, because that's where your rewards really start to add up. If you're just putting out a beacon, you do get minor rewards, but you really want to be witnessing. The more you witness, the better off you are. So I wasn't witnessing anybody with the stock antenna, got the different antenna, did better, but I never mounted this on the side of my house. All I did was just put it in the second story window and left it there. I did look into having an antenna mounted on outside of the house, and it would have been around $300. I really didn't want to climb up onto the second story of my house, climb up on the roof and try to put that antenna up there. I'm not used to climbing up on roofs, and you fall off a second story roof and, well, things go downhill pretty quick, literally. So I decided not to do it. I was going to hire someone, and then I was thinking about, well, is it going to be worth it for a $350 miner plus a $50 antenna plus $300 to install that antenna? I'd be into it for about $700. And would that be worth it? Would I ROI in a reasonable amount of time? Well, I started looking at other people in my area and seeing what their rewards were. Some people that were witnessing several other people and were getting good rewards. After calculating their rewards, I decided it probably wouldn't be a good idea for me as far as putting that extra money out. I'm going to show you here. I'll show you my rewards. I'll show you what I've earned in 10 months and basically where I'm standing. So anyway, this is where I am. My problem where I'm mining from is that in North Carolina, there's a lot of hills, peaks and valleys, ridges and mountains. It's like a roller coaster in this state going around. And I just happen to live in one of these minor valleys. The thing I was looking at was that if I put an antenna on top of my house, well, I would have gained another 10 feet, let's say, if I put it on top of my house compared to the second story window, because I would have been on the roof. So that'd be another 10 feet about. With the antenna extension and the antenna itself, I probably would have gotten another 5 or so feet. So I would have gained about 15 or so feet on top of my antenna from where it's at now. Would that have helped? I'm not thinking it would have. It would have helped. There's no question about it. It would have helped. I probably would have witnessed a little bit more, but I don't think that it would have been in the long run. So ultimately, I didn't mount an antenna on the side of my house, and I moved this other antenna into different windows on different sides of my house until I was able to start witnessing, and then I figured, okay, it's good there. Well, in this past month, as we can see, this is mine right here, you'll see that in this past month, I have not made much money. Well, here's 24 hours. You can clearly see it there. Let's go 30 days out. And you can see for about 3 weeks of the month, I have had almost virtually zero rewards. And I'm looking at my miner. I've got the green light. It's not flashing. It's not doing anything. Not the yellow light. It's not the red light. It's green light. Everything looks good. Antenna looks good. Everything's fine. I'm wondering why I'm not witnessing anymore. Well, the only person I was really witnessing was this guy over here, the Glorious Wool Oyster. And I looked over at him because this is the only person I was able to witness. And when I looked at him, I'll bring his numbers up. You can see that, first off, he's inactive. And he's been inactive for about 3 weeks, which is coincidentally about how long I have not been witnessing anybody. So it's because of the Glorious Wool Oyster that he being inactive and his miner being down, I'm not witnessing anybody. He was the only person I was witnessing. So first off, Glorious Wool Oyster, if you're watching, get your miner back up and running, okay? Well, you got to get that going. Not like it really matters much for me. When I started looking at profitability, like I said, for him, I was looking at other miners in the area that were witnessing a lot of people. Glorious Wool Oyster, let's go to the topographical map, and you can see this is the area that I live in. So I live in this sort of a valley. The lighter green areas are the elevation. And when you see someone like over here, these darker green areas, you can start to see the higher elevation. So I'm in here, and that is just miserable. Oyster is over here, and he's up on one of these big hills. He's able to witness all the way out to Charlotte, come all the way up here. He's hit down into South Carolina. He was hitting everybody. And out of all the ones that I was looking at in the area, he was actually one of the top producers in our area as far as rewards went. So I've used him as sort of my baseline, as a benchmark for where I was trying to get to. But since he was earning the most, I thought that I would just look at his earnings and kind of go by his. So when I was looking at his, and I'm looking over the 30 days and I'm watching what he's making, he was making about 10 helium a month. Now me, I was not. I was barely making any helium. Now, remember when I first got my miner, I didn't get that antenna right away. Probably took about a month or so before I decided to finally go and get that other antenna. So I didn't really have any great rewards until I got that larger antenna or stronger antenna, and had to find the right spot for that antenna in my house. Well, when I finally did, I started earning a little bit of the rewards, and I started being witnessed, or I was witnessing him and he was witnessing me. Excuse me. And it was working out really well as far as that went. But like I said, he was getting about 10 helium a month in his rewards. And when I started to factor that in and started looking at those rewards, I decided that it probably wouldn't be that beneficial for me to do it. If I had been mining and I had an antenna on the top of my house and I was able to witness more miners, even though I am in that little bit of a valley, would that extra height have gotten me out of the valley and witnessing more? That would be questionable. So $300 more for a flip of a coin, basically. So when I started looking at it, if I've been mining for 10 months and now helium is down, we had that collapse. I'm not even going to get into that. That'll be another video. Not just helium, another exchange. Nonetheless, helium. So if he was getting 10 helium a month, and let's say I was getting those 10 helium a month, if I was able to witness as many as he was witnessing, I doubt I would have, but let's say I would have, that would have been 10 months at 10 helium a month would have been 100 helium. So that would have been 100. So around $247. It would have cost me $300 just to mount the antenna, let alone to buy the miner, to buy the antenna, to buy the extended bracket arm for the antenna, and anything else I might have needed, the extended wire and everything else. Like I said, it would have been a few more dollars on top of that. So when I was saying $350 for the miner, $50 for the antenna, $300 for installation, that's not including the extra wire. I would have gotten a stronger gauge wire to carry better signal because I'd be further away from my miner, so you have to get a better cable for it. The brackets, the pole arm, the whole setup, probably another $50 right there. So realistically, probably would have been to this for about $750. Well, since I've gotten this miner, it would have been about $247, and I wouldn't even have paid for the installation. If I'd been doing this for a full year, I'd have about 120, and I'd be getting closer. I'd be right about for the installation cost. So if I mined this for one full year, I would have gotten about $300, and I would have just paid for a little under half of what this all cost me. So that's why I didn't go in that direction, because I was thinking it really wasn't going to be there. Now, when I was even looking at this even further back, prices were a little bit higher, and even then it still wasn't there. Then it came down pretty hard. Let's look at a full year back. You can see it was up here when I first had gotten my miner, and then it slowly drifted down. So that's why I wasn't too encouraged to go out and get all of that. But still, I would have only gotten $296. So I got to tell you, that would have been discouraging. And the only reason I've been getting what I'm getting is because of the Glorious Wool Oyster and the few pennies that I have been earning. So what have I earned? What have I gotten? Let me get my wallet out here and take a peek. You know, we all had to migrate over. And my grand total for mining in 10 months you go. I've gotten 5.12 helium in 10 months. Now, of course, yes, that is my fault because I didn't get the antenna extended up, and that might have given me more rewards. What if it didn't? What if instead of $10, I might have only witnessed one other person and I was only getting $7 a month or $6 a month? I'm sorry, not dollars, but helium per month, getting 5, 6, 7 instead of just getting the half of a helium. So I didn't really know. And again, that's why I didn't pull the trigger. So ultimately, has it been worth it for me? 10 months of mining. I'm into this for $350 for the miner, $50 for the antenna. So I'm into this for $400. And so far I've earned $12.64. So ultimately, no, I didn't do well. I can't say that I'm excited for this. I was excited when I got Helium Miner. It took forever to get. So much had changed between getting it or placing the order and actually receiving it. And so much has changed even since then with the different coins or different tokens that they've issued for the different types of miners they have. Realistically, this has been a flop. I definitely don't recommend it. I've debated taking this miner, sending it up to my folks' house. They live up north where it's a lot flatter in the region that they're in, and I may get better results. So if I did move this miner, I don't know what it costs, like 10 or $20 to move the miner. So if I did move it, I'd pay the extra $20. So I'd basically all of my rewards to pay for the moving. But I actually might gain some decent rewards by being up there because it's in a more populated area. It's got better line of sight. The house that it would be in, again, I probably wouldn't put it on a pole, but we do have a third story on the house where there's an attic, and I could put it in the window there, which would bring me up even higher than where I'm at here. If it looked like it was really doing well, I may consider getting an antenna for that spot. But realistically, I'd probably stick it in the window and just see where it took me from there. And we'll just kind of play it by ear when that time comes. I would have to send this up to them and then get them to get it. We'll see. I rarely have any problems with my miners. I know some people have problems, like Glorious Wool Oyster. His is down. He probably just sort of set it and forget it. And he just hasn't looked back at it because probably discouraged like the rest of us. He's probably discouraged at his 10 helium a month, let alone my half a helium a month that I've still been excited to run this thing. Now, remember that this cost about $1 a month to run a helium miner. So it's cost me $10 in these past 10 months. So realistically, I'm in the black for $2.65. So that's my helium story. Not too exciting. I wish I could have, one of those little poppers with the streamers and everybody's excited. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I will most likely take this up to my folks' house and leave it with them when I get up there, or maybe I'll just ship it up to them and see if my sister can hook it up for me, and we'll just kind of go from there. So anyway, I'd love to see it in the comments down below. How did your helium miner do? How much helium are you earning per month, if you want to say? I'd love to know if you've got yours on the second story. Are you in a valley like me? What did you do to overcome that? No, I can't put a 40-foot antenna or 50-foot antenna in my backyard. The wife would it just wouldn't work out at all, if you know my story. So that's at the end of the list, but we'll see where it ends up. Hopefully in the future, when I move this, it does a little bit better. It's just sort of sitting there, like I said, set it and forget it, and we'll see what happens in the future. Comments down below, definitely give me a thumbs up. Definitely give me a thumbs up for this one because of all the effort and time that I've spent in this miner and just trying to get this thing to run a little bit better. Unfortunately, it just never happened for me. So appreciate y'all checking in. If you want to subscribe to the channel, the button's right over there. Watch any of my other videos. I got one right up there for you. Thanks for checking in. I'll see y'all next time.